Look, I'm no ladies' man, I know that, Johnny. I never got girls when I was a kid in show business either, you know? Well, one girl told me, come on over, there's nobody home. I went over, there was nobody home.
I am the greatest.
A little boxing couldn't hurt.
Welcome to the Howdy Boomy podcast. Here it is, Wednesday, January the 10th. And you read the papers and you shake your head about what's going on in the country today. You can do that any day, any time, I would guess, depending on your political leaning. But you sit there and you wonder. We have the Middle East erupting in a war that we haven't seen since the 60s, since when I was a kid, draft eligible. You've got Putin and Russia invading Ukraine. You've got China rattling sabers saying they are going to invade Taiwan. And yet you have our Secretary of Defense admit himself into a hospital, doesn't tell anybody about it. And Joe Biden doesn't even know what's going on. Who is running the show here? Now, it's one thing about coming out with policies that people disagree with, but you're talking about defense of the United States. If there is a nuclear attack, we have about 15 minutes to make some decisions. When you've got a Secretary of Defense check himself into a hospital without telling anybody, the President of the United States doesn't even know. That 15 minutes is gone and we're in trouble here. Who is in charge? Joe Biden called them on Saturday. Didn't even know what he was in a hospital for. Who is in charge? What kind of chain of command do they have here? He's dealing with the defense of the United States citizens. Middle East, Ukraine, China. Nobody knows what's going on here. Joe doesn't. You can see that the way he operates. I see where he wants to eliminate debates now in the presidential election. They did it during COVID because of COVID, and now you know why he wants to do it, because he can't keep a thought in his head for more than 10 minutes. Can you imagine him standing on a stage for an hour? Impossible. But the defense of the United States, with our borders being overrun by terrorists, anybody who wants to get in, the chaos that he has ensued here. Our borders are Kamala Harris. God knows where she is. God cares where she is. But it's defense of the United States. People that are just taking off. Nobody knows what's going on. This is the kind of administration that we want to have here, and the press is going to back them because they're either Democratic or liberal. They're not going to tell you the truth, and your life is at risk. I saw where a black gentleman said that the most of the problems in the black community are caused by fatherlessness. But they're not talking about it. They never will. They will never take responsibility. It's always our fault. It's always white America's fault. Now they want reparations for slavery, which was a terrible thing. But my father never owned a slave. My grandfather never owned a slave. Go after the people that own slaves. It's ridiculous. Anything to get money. Anything to get money and not work and not take responsibility. There's a certain segment of the black community that doesn't want to give up this chaos that they created with the Great Society and handing out money for having babies. And now the black community realizes with the crime and the fatherlessness, believe me, everything starts at the kitchen table. If you have a good kitchen table in your family will be fine. Watch the Howdy Boomy podcast every day. Tomorrow we're going to have something interesting. Don't know what it is yet. After a couple beers, I'll be able to tell you. Watch the Howdy Boomy podcast on the Howdy Boomy channel on YouTube. Go to howdyboomy.com for great baby boomer gifts. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. God bless America.